Houston has made history.
Kua Kai Roth hung up on
Kurt Busch wins the Daytona 500.
We'd done double flips and wanted to see what we could do. We had no idea what was possible. We just, wonder if three is possible.
To reach that is absolutely putting your life at risk for anybody.
Will this put Josh Sheehan in the realm of Evel Knievel and Matt Hoffman? 100%.
And I just had to tell myself, reassure myself that it was all going to be okay. Just stay relaxed, stay calm, you've got this. But yeah, I came into that last day with no other option, with nothing else in my mind but the triple flip was happening, and that was it, it was settled. There's no backing out of it now. The hardest part of the trick was on the takeoff. There's a lot of G-force going up the ramp, and in the night I had to just throw my body weight back to get the maximum rotation as I could. But after that first rotation, I'm still going up at this point, and I just hit my head back just before the end of the second rotation. That's where I hit the peak height of the jump, and that's when I know exactly how I'm going. You can throw that extra, almost like pulling in for another backflip for that third flip, and then it was all home from there. So. It was unexplainable when I landed. It was the amount of stress that was built up that I was just trying to suppress had all been lifted off my shoulders. It was the most amazing feeling I've ever had. I've like 20, 25 guys there that were all good friends, all there to celebrate. It was just amazing. That feeling, I just wish that I could feel that same feeling again, but it'll never happen. It's just, one in a million. That was something I'll definitely remember as definitely the top, definitely the most memorable moment of my life.
Unreal! That was Houston has made history.
Kua Kai Roth hung up on
Kurt Busch wins the Daytona 500.
So I grew up dirt racing, and in dirt racing it's a lot more aggressive. I grew up with that aggressive driving style, and that's what I'm used to. That's my normal. And so going into stock car racing, it's hard to be patient because that's not something I grew up doing.
So hopefully we qualify on the pole and win the race, right? And that's what everyone's shooting for this weekend, but I want to be the one to get it.
15-car field ready to go, and a big jump there, not the pole sitter. Partridge got going a bit soon there.
I think I just knew I had to be close enough for striking distance, and that's something I had to make sure I didn't make any mistakes so we got too far out of the way, because I knew I was going to have to make a move on him, a pretty aggressive move.
Hailie DEEGAN trying to become the first female to win in the K&M Pro Series.
She's really pushing those entries right here, Dave. There she goes. She's going to take a shot at him.
Trouble in front of him, and now she's going to get into the back end of Rouse. Hailie DEEGAN to the lead.
So it's the typical bump and run. It's the kind of, you move them out of the way, use your nose to move them out of the way, and then you run as fast as you can.
Can she maintain it through 3 and 4? Here comes Rouse back. No! Score one for the ladies. Hailie DEEGAN wins in Meridian.
When the checkers flag was thrown, it was almost like a sense of relief, and it was a crazy moment that I didn't know what was going to come of it, if it was going to be as big of a deal as I thought it was going to be, or if it was going to be bigger, but it ended up blowing up, and it was crazy. And just to think that no other girl's done something like that, that's what's really wild. Everyone always says, oh, you're a good driver or whatever, I hope you can win and stuff like that. And so getting that win, it was kind of like me proving myself.
It was perfect, and we did it! We won! Wow!
You get a taste of it, and then you want more, and then you want to keep winning. And that's the hardest part, is upkeeping with that kind of goal and standard you set for yourself. Monster was one of the first sponsors and partners to take a chance on me. They believed in me as much as I believed in myself, and that's why I feel like we were able to have success so early. I think that first win is going to be one to remember in my book. Definitely, so far in my life, probably been my biggest accomplishment, so we'll see.
Hailie DEEGAN wins in Meridian.
Unreal! That was Houston has
Kurt Busch wins the Daytona 500.
Dooney's won. This is the first time in a long time a Dune video's been put out. We dropped it and the thing just took off. It went viral. Dooney's 2 was just bigger and better. Everybody saw that first video, and like sort of everybody on the Monster Motorsports side just wanted to take part in this thing. So next thing you know, we got snowmobiles coming out and other four-wheel off-road disciplines, and we had Harleys in the second one, which has never been seen in the desert. When you get these monster athletes out there, especially these guys are already crazy, you get these guys all together, it's scary. Axell Hodges, I mean, this is my little brother's, like, I think this is what sort of put him on the map as him taking it to the next level as a free rider. I mean, him and Josh Hill in this video, it was them sort of competing the whole time to go bigger. All the stars aligned on that Josh Hill stuff. I mean, the jump was huge, but him over jumping it made him look twice as big. I knew with the traction that Dooney's 1 got, this thing was going to be big, but I didn't think it would be this big. We dropped it and the thing just took off. It went viral. A part of Monster Energy's big success is the creative freedom they give to their athletes, their employees, and their teams. They just let them do what they want to do. And that organically is what makes this stuff, such a success. Without Monster Energy, there would be no Dooney. My goal is always to step up the game and make the next one better.
Houston has made history.
Kurt Busch wins the Daytona 500.
Going into 2014 Supercross season, obviously goal number 1, to win a championship. I think in that position that I was in, going for 4 in a row and being at the top step of the podium, a lot of times people have a huge target on your back. I'd say the biggest wild card was James. The second wild card was Chad, and then Duns, you just knew that he was just the locomotive. It was the first time we raced in the Jet Stadium. I was racing Dungy for the championship at this race.
The whole shot will go to Villopoto, right where he wants to be, out front in the front of the field.
You get a whole shot. It's kind of a perfect scenario, right? You have the points lead. You have the chance to wrap up a championship. I think the secret to my success was that in practice, for instance, I was never the fastest guy. I struggled in practice, but whenever racing came, I was a guy that I was a racer. That's what a lot of guys don't, maybe don't have, like the ability to turn it up, to go faster during the races, but also be in control.
Here comes the crowd. Wow. What a night, and what a way to do it for Ryan Villopoto by winning the prestigious first ever race in MetLife Stadium. Villopoto is a 4-time Monster Energy Supercross champion.
Winning 4 in a row was a huge feat for myself and everybody involved. Easy way to kind of put it in perspective is go back and look at the record books. I want to say there's one other person that has done it, and I believe it's McGrath. That's when you're like, holy shit, that's a pretty big feat right there to win championships in a row, let alone 4 in a row.
Unreal. That was Houston has made history.
Kurt Busch wins the Daytona 500.
Dakar is a 12-day rally race, 4,500 miles, driving as fast as you can drive, and the terrain is the most difficult terrain you can drive in the world because it's never been raced on before, so everything is unknown. Dakar is the biggest race I've ever raced. I've raced every race in Baja. I've done all the races you can do in the dirt in America, and this by far is the biggest race I've ever raced. No American had ever won it, and our goal was to be the first. You have no GPS in the car. You go off cap heading and distance only. And if you get the cap heading or distance wrong, you get lost. 2 people died this year, and you're in Saudi Arabia. On the daily, you're between 100 and 300 miles away from the nearest hospital. You have to learn to reset and learn how to get back to the race course without having any outside assistance at all. So it is very difficult, and it's a lot more than just about a driver. It takes a co-driver to not get you lost. On the last day, from the start to the finish, I thought, no way this is going to happen. It's impossible. Something's going to break. Something's got to go. For myself, when we won the car, I mean, all my emotions, everything came out. Excitement, the stress that we've had for 4 or 5 days of going at this race, that was all coming out at one time. And for myself, just like we all talk about, it wasn't supposed to happen, and for it to actually happen, it was just a complete stress relief. There's only 5 categories total, so there's only 5 winners on the motorcycles. Ricky Brabek absolutely killed it. He won. I think Ricky deserved it and was more prepared as far as he's already been doing it for multiple years. And then for myself, I feel that I was probably the underdog just because it's only year 2. So we had more odds against us. The event was definitely a large upset. It was the first time in Dakar's history that the U.S. national anthem was played on the podium. Dakar 2020 is a massive part of my legacy, for the reason being we're the first Americans to ever win the hardest off-road race in the world. And now anybody that wins it from now on is going to be the second.
Unreal! That was Isaac Houston has made history.
Kua Kai Roth hung up on
Kurt Busch wins the Daytona 500.
In 2017, it was the same thought process as it had been for so many years, that I have 3 second-place finishes in the Daytona 500. I've pushed a teammate to win. I've lost it in countless ways, numerous different scenarios, and I forced myself to think that this track doesn't owe you anything. It's just that you have to respect the chance to be here, and hopefully it will pay you back one day. The last lap was a path that I had set up in my mind for the last 20 laps. We were saving fuel, and we knew we were going to be close on fuel. Some guys wanted to go up to the front and lead, and I'm like, you know what? I need to ride right here, no matter what. If people pass me on the left, that's fine. I'm going to block them to the right, but I want to be riding in second or third. I drug the brake coming into the last lap to back off the leader a little bit and to get a run down the front straightaway. And that gave me that momentum and that slingshot ability to make a move on Kyle Larson. And it all played out perfectly with him running out of fuel, others sputtering on their tanks of gas, and for me to pull away down the back straightaway. I had jolts of chills going through my body.
Come off turn 4 for the final time. From Las Vegas, the 2004 champion of the series, Kurt Busch, for Gene Haas and Tony Stewart, wins the Daytona 500.
Wow. And it's as if everything went to black and white. Wow. Flash bulbs were going off. Everybody's looking at us crossing the line, and all what I could see was black and white. And I'm like, we did it. We did it. We did it. And it's just an amazing feeling of so many years, so many people, and to be in that position to win it. I won the Great American Race that day. That win like that is so special. It'll last for a lifetime.
Unreal! That was Isaac Houston has made history.
Kua Kai Roth hung up on
Kurt Busch wins the Daytona 500.
Welcome to U.S. Bank Stadium in Minnesota. Tonight, it's high-flying, gravity-defying coverage of MotoX quarterpipe high air.
The event's so scary because you're hitting such a big ramp and you're going so high in the air. You see it on TV, but the quarterpipe really doesn't do it any justice until you see it in person.
It's not like these guys get a lot of practice on a feature like this. This thing is 18 feet tall, by the way. It's only 8 feet wide.
18 foot tall, and you're going another 40 feet out of that. It's pretty crazy in person. Just riding BMX and 110s growing up, I feel like helped me a lot because I was just riding every day and doing weird stuff on my 110, which was kind of skateboarding and kind of quarter pipe stuff. So when I got older and started practicing it and putting my effort into the quarter pipe, I feel like it came more natural to me than a guy that has never had any experience with the quarter pipe.
Axell Hodges, we did not see him out here in this event last year. He missed it due to a broken right radius prior to coming out here to competition.
The scariest part is about going up and you don't have much forward momentum because you're going straight up. And either bouncing wrong or just going straight to the flat bottom is the scariest part, because you're going so high up into the air and it's pretty much like jumping off a bridge, and you go down and you're crashing to the flat bottom.
And just sending it in your face, Minneapolis, and look at he just nosedives.
You gotta kind of come in slow in second gear, and at the bottom, just give your bike everything it has. Pretty much about going straight off the top of the ramp and getting the best drive you can.
But to go 34 feet 3 inches this time around. That is Axell Hodges' first gold medal, by the way.
Yeah, winning the gold medal was probably my favorite moment in X Games. So to come back and being able to win that, and come back from injury, was just a pretty special moment.
Unreal! That was Isaac Houston has made history.
Kua Kai Roth hung up on
Kurt Busch wins the Daytona 500.
There is magic in the air in the Nevada desert. Tonight, 22 riders and one lucky fan have the opportunity to win $1 million. It's the single biggest night of racing in Supercross. This is the 8th annual Monster Energy Cup.
I mean, it's one night, like, to go out there and win all 3 races for $1 million. So just to have the opportunity to be in the event, it's like one thing you never want to turn down as a rider. I mean, it's just like, it is 10 times of what any other payout is in our sports, or maybe even more than that. So it creates so much motivation and excitement for the riders and the fans. Like, it really, ratchets up the whole race.
There's one lucky fan, one very lucky fan. That's him right there, Jesse Hebert, who got the most money out of that Monster Money Machine. He was able to get tied together with whoever had a shot at the million. This night, all about money in the first gate drop.
I believe that race I started out in second, and I ended up passing my teammate earlier on in that race.
Here he comes. Eli Tomac takes race number 1.
I mean, at the time, it's like, it's great. We've got a shot at this, and you just go to the second. You go to race 2.
Tomac has to win it to stay alive.
So race 2, I came out with the whole shot, and that was basically smooth sailing. Like, it was a perfect world for the rider, right? You go out, you get the whole shot, and you just win the race.
Eli Tomac and Jesse the Bear are going to win race number 2, and they're set up for $1 million possibility coming up in race number 3.
This is when things really started to get, taken to a whole nother level of pressure. I kind of try to flip the pressure the other way around. Is, like, hey, I'm the only guy that has the chance to go get it, so I might as well do everything I can to go get it.
That's Eli Tomac, and Eli wins this race coming up. Takes home $1 million, so will Jesse Hebert. Are you ready to see if someone can take home $1 million from Vegas? Here we go. Dropping the gate and racing to the first corner. Tomac sandwiched back in the middle of the pack. Can Tomac get through this and win it?
And I was just wide open. I was trying to watch the lead. I really thought I had no chance at catching Joey. But early on in that race, it was full chaos. I'd have passed, 6 of the fastest guys in the sport. It was crazy.
Look at how far in he goes, and he's got Breezy. Get by Breezy here, Jesse Terry. He got it. One more to go, Jesse, and you too would be $1 million here tonight. The final lap is well underway. Watch Tomac right here. He launches it forward to the last section. To the corner. Oh my God! Jesse's gonna be coming back! He's done it! He won all 3! Eli Tomac!
And that was it. And I was able to make the pass the last lap, and it was total excitement. Like, it was just wild. Everyone's going all crazy down by the podium, and that was it. And and then the fan ended up winning, Jesse. So it was just a night like no other. It's almost like the lottery. It's crazy.
Unreal! That was Isaac Houston has made history.
Kua Kai Roth hung up on
Kurt Busch wins the Daytona 500.
So I got the call from Mitch Covington at Monster Energy, and he asked me, if I'd be interested in attempting a world record jump in a four-wheel vehicle, dirt to dirt. And I said, heck yeah. let's do it. At that time, I was working with Jeremy McGrath. He was driving for our team at the same time, and he happened to have a ranch out in Southern California, and it ended up being the perfect area to work on this. We got out there, and yeah, the dirt was really soft, so the jump broke down quite a bit every time because we couldn't get it to stay packed in hard. And I believe we were hitting it at 97 at first. You know, we were coming up, I don't know, 15, 20 feet short of what we wanted. The truck started getting a little like a kite. You know, the air would get inside the body and start floating around a little bit. If anything goes wrong, which it has for other people who have done it, I mean, it's a life or death situation. So I went back to cut some holes in the hood. We were out of gearing. We were out of room to get a bigger run, and you know, the ground just kept getting looser. So I finally went back, and I got on radio and I said, "This is it. I'm hitting it with everything I got. So make sure the cameras are rolling." We got the 301, I think it was. It felt like you were up there forever. You know, and it's funny, after it was all over with, I was kind of into it. I was saying, I think I want to try it again. And then I asked Jeremy, I said, "You got to try it once. It's like something you've never done before." And he looked at me and said, "No, thank you." You know, yeah, it's definitely cool. It's definitely probably one of the greatest highlights of my career. And you never know. Maybe we'll take it one step farther one day.
Unreal! That was Isaac Houston has made history.
Kurt Busch wins the Daytona 500.
Better way to celebrate 40 years of Caesars Palace history than with a high-risk feat that promises to take your breath away. A world record try with a Guinness World Record representative on hand for longest backflip attempted by the most influential rider in freestyle motocross.
So Mike's moving freestyle in a completely different direction now. He's got his fame, people know this guy, and now he's going to do this gigantic backflip over the fountains that Evel Knievel attempted many years before.
I think it's good for the soul when you can push yourself to be like Evel Knievel, because that dude did some crazy ass shit.
I was afraid for Mike because he looked nervous to me, and I'd never seen him look nervous before. I had this vision that he was going to over-rotate it, and because he was so hyped up, and really take a bad fall.
You know, my plan was to rip the cape off. That was kind of like the go to let the camera guys and everyone know, like, hey, cape's off. Time to get serious and throw the biggest flip I can right now.
Guys, here we go. This could be it. The impossible jump.
Third run went for it. I knew I was hitting the ramp a little faster than usual. Probably a little excited. I pulled pretty hard. Ended up landing it.
Mission accomplished! Mike Metzger has set a world record for longest backflip jump.
But I know I slowed the bike down as far as the rotation through the air, and so I stepped up and made it happen. Yeah, I would say that getting a chance to do something just silly, ridiculously insane, like jumping over Caesars Palace fountains, was, yeah, like the topper for real.